Hi everybody, welcome back to this quick playthrough of the beta of the Secret World. I'm going to take a quick look at the skill and leveling system here. I sort of went back after that last video and looked into it and sort of tried to get an idea of what was actually going on there. So this is your ability wheel, and you've got 9 different weapon choices, and each of those you can get abilities in. So right here you can see that I'm using an assault rifle. These lines here represent your progression through each of these 2 categories of abilities. Like this category of abilities is support, right? And so these abilities are listed here from the top all the way down to the bottom, obviously. As you gain ability points, you spend them here. So if I wanted to get Anima Shot, I'd need to spend 1 ability point. And you can click to get the stats of what it will do. Now, not every ability, this is an active ability, which obviously can be slotted down here to be used in combat. There are also these passive abilities, which come over here. You can change out the equipped passives and actives, which obviously, you know, increase passively your abilities. It seems like every one of them, every skill set switches between an active and passive ability. I think they're all alternate between the 2. And then it seems like once you get past the basics, you know, spark and react, or here it would be support and engage, you can then move up to a more specialized kind of ability within that weapon skill. So pistols, once you get all your pistol skills, you can move up to one of these 2 groups. So you could have trajectionist and positive reinforcement, or bullet hell and crossfire, stuff like that. And they all seem to have different focuses, which I haven't really gone into, but you get the basic idea. I also haven't seen any reason why you wouldn't be able to use all of these skills and abilities. All of these abilities, I'm sorry, skills are something different. So it actually would allow for some pretty interesting and different builds. You know, you could have assault rifles and chaos magic, because I know you can have 2 weapons equipped. And you can equip any of your abilities. As far as I can tell, you can equip any of these abilities without regard for the weapon that you have. Now, you do have to have certain weapons for these abilities, like I can't use safety off with a hammer. But there may be abilities that, like these combat abilities, maybe some of these active abilities, you don't have to have certain weapon equipped. I doubt it, but maybe. I mean, that would be interesting, that you could combine different active abilities from different skills. I also don't know precisely how varied the passives will be for use with other types of skills. Like I don't know if, you know, shotgun passives will work well with, say, your fists. It might. I don't know if it will or not, though. It would be cool if they did, but I really can't say. I'd have to play the game a lot more than I'm going to know that. So in addition to your abilities, you also have skills, and you spend skill points. And see, earlier I spent some skill points and thought, man, why didn't I get these new skills? Because it does list ability names, but they're not actually, even though they're skills, yeah, but skills are distinct from abilities. Skills are all, as far as I can tell, passive abilities. They don't have any actual activatable effect, and you don't equip them in the passive ability area. They're simply sorry, they are always passive benefits to everything you do, no matter what you have equipped. Once you've unlocked them, you have them forever. And once again, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to spend them wherever you want. You know, if you're using assault rifles, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use them for, you know, chaos magic. I don't see anything here. I'm just looking through a few of these. I've looked through a couple. A lot of them seem to be very specific to whatever ability you are, but not all of them. Like this one, if you evade an attack, you gain the Fleeting Fortress effect, causing the next attack against you to deal 18% less damage. Oh, but see, it requires an equipped Chaos Focus. So I'm wondering how much, you know, versatility it really allows for. I mean, there is obviously the versatility in the fact that you can have 2 different types of weapons equipped at all times. And I'm assuming that the bonuses you get will apply across those weapons, but I don't know how much cross, like I said, I don't know if, you know, it's viable to have blades as well as, like, I don't know if you would want to have your blade skills and then also combine that with blood magic or what have you. I don't know how much of synergy there will be between those, between any 2 unrelated weapon abilities. Perhaps there's some overlay or synergy between, perhaps it's melee weapons that synergize more. Perhaps the magic abilities will create better combinations. You know, perhaps each of the 3 weapons will link up with each other very well. I don't know if crossing, I don't even know if these 3 similar weapons will have effects that help each other. It seems like they're all very specifically tailored for the specific weapon that you need in order to use the abilities. But maybe not all of them. I see someone here like on guard. Whenever you set the impaired state, your mitigation is defensed. So there are some, I think. Perhaps they come unlocked at the higher levels. I mean, some of these have really high AP costs. Of course, to be honest, I don't know how much AP you're going to be getting at higher levels, and I mean, I really can't say how that's going to work out. Now, anyway, back to these skill points. In addition to your 9 weapon choices, you also have your 3 talismans, which are sort of your equipment. And these just seem to be, to me personally, like they would be the best bet in general, because you're always going to be using these talismans, right, whenever possible. So it seems like it would give you a lot of bang for your buck to be increasing these skills, you know, whenever possible. I didn't realize that at the time, of course, and I increased my assault rifle. I'm not saying that, and obviously this is just a very, very first impression. I'm sure there are plenty of people who can tell you that, no, you never want to increase your head talisman because it's shit, and statistically you should be increasing, you know, chaos magic or whatever, because there's an 8th tier skill that's amazing for everyone, blah, blah, blah. But in general, it seems like these equipment abilities would be useful for everyone, whereas these are more specific, and I'm sure that the cost increases exponentially as you go up down the skill line. But even without the synergy that I would like to see from this system, like where you were able to combine, you know, drastically different types of weapons with one another to create interesting builds, I don't think that that's going to be quite as much as I would like it to imagine it to be. I think that it's probably best to stick with your 1 or 2 weapons and have builds that support that you know, a specific thing, rather than, you know, trying crazy combinations of different weapon builds. Also, very briefly, there are things called decks. These decks are sort of like classes. They are pre-made builds, more or less, for your character, and I don't know if it will automatically purchase them for you. I don't think it does. I think the idea is that you will just follow these lines here, so that you'll be able to spend what you need to spend in order to get to these different classes. I say with air quotes, because they're not really classes, they're just builds. And that's interesting. I do like this about that about this game. I've been kind of hard on this game lately in my last few videos, but I do like the skill system. I do like the customization that you have. I think it's not quite as unique. Like, each build I don't think is as unique as I would like it to be. It's like every weapon builds up resources and then tears them down to create effects. And I would like to have seen, you know, more specific and different mechanics maybe for each weapon grouping, like maybe, you know, melee weapons will build up resources and then tear them down as you sort of find your balance, and then expend it in wilder attacks. Perhaps, you know, weapons like the ranged weapons would just have a flat bar that would decrease as ammunition or something, and you could get passives that would extend your magazine or allow some sort of reloading ability, and then just wear that down. So you would start off powerful, but then, you know, atrophy down quickly, and then once you're out, the ability would have very slow recharge time or something. As the resource, you know, you have to reload, so you'd have high start off sort of spike damage at the beginning and then work it down. Whereas with, you know, blade or melee weapons, you could sort of have a nice consistent continuous damage that wasn't quite as high as, say, you know, the assault rifles or pistols or whatever. And then maybe magic could have sort of a quicker, more quickly regenerating resource, like more traditional mana pool. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying there are options that you could make that would make them each feel a little bit more different. And to be, I mean, honestly, I haven't experimented a whole lot with different weapons. I did make another character or two just to sort of play from the other two factions. They don't change much. You still have the same options, the same tutorial mission as that thing in London. Like the dragon one was really weird. Like, you get a blowjob from some mysterious woman in a hotel room, and then you have like a flashback to the thing in London. And I was actually playing a female character, so it was really interesting to see my female Asian dragon girl getting, you know, orally stimulated by a mystery girl and then going into London. I don't know if that's actually what it's supposed to be, but that's definitely what it seems like. Anyway, but yeah, overall the skill system is interesting. I like the skill points, I like the abilities. I just, once again, wish that they felt a little bit more distinct. And I'm sure at higher levels, well, I hope at higher levels that the weapons will start to feel a little bit more unique. I know that they each have different sort of effects, or what am I looking for? Like, the different weapons have different specializations, right? So assault rifles seem to be about lots of damage and leeching life from your targets, whereas fist weapons are about getting into melee but also healing. So that's cool. I just wish that, once again, you could maybe synergize a little bit better than seems available right now from my cursory inspection. Is this a boat? That's cool. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the skill system and how it seems to work in general at first blush. Once again, there may be sort of more advanced techniques. I'm sure there is a little bit more going on to it, but from my first impression of the skills, that's what we're dealing with. Some unique customizations, but perhaps not as much synergy, and interesting combinations and builds that could be made. It seems like there's probably going to be an accepted build for each weapon combination that people will have, and if you're not using that, you might not get very much play otherwise. But so that's it for the weapon of the character abilities. I'm going to play through this first mission here in Maine. I think I'm going to be fighting zombies as the very angry plain white guy with an assault rifle. So stay tuned for that in a minute.